please stand up? Because if you sit down for too long, what happens? Oh, you get tired. You get old. How about that? If you sit down for too long, you get old. So what I'd like you to do, please, is when somebody comes in contact with you as a fitness professional, because we're not personal trainers, we're fitness professionals. There's the first take-home tool from this morning. I'm not a personal trainer, I am a fitness professional. So fitness says what you do. I'm in fitness. And what does the word professional mean? I get paid for it. If people are prepared to invest money in you, that means you dress well, you're on time, you know your stuff, your product knowledge, your skills and experience is good, yes? And you would create for all of your clients a wow experience, yes? Yes. So with your whole entire body, to start the morning off, can you please write the word wow with your body? Go. With your whole body. And a big O. And a big W. Go. How good did that feel? I can't hear you. Go again. Come on, David. Go. Now, any client, whether they're 5 years old, 55 years old, or 85 years old, if they walk away from spending time with you saying wow, will they come back? Yes. So that's the whole outcome of this morning, is to make sure that whatever we do with our clients, they say wow. Grab a chair and we're off and racing. I'm very excited. Is anybody excited besides me? Yeah. I'm going to start off with a little bit of an interesting story. Some people would call it a negative story, and I just call it all the more reason why we have to dress the way we are dressed this morning and why we have to do what we're doing. My mother went to the doctor downstairs. The doctor said to my mother, I don't like to exercise. The doctor said to my mother, I don't like to exercise. We've got a lot of work to do. Because exercise stops people from getting old. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Strength training prevents osteoporosis, and if you've got osteoporosis, it gets rid of it. It cures it. 1 in 3 women, I'd write that down, 1 in 3 women get osteoporosis. It's called bones getting weak. 1 in 3 women over the age of 60 get osteoporosis. So in this room, none of us will get it because we're all going to lift weights, yes? Yeah. Including this 85-year young lady over here who used to have osteoporosis, but she doesn't have it anymore. Isn't that exciting? Yes. She was diagnosed with advanced osteoporosis and she doesn't have it anymore. Now, the doctor said, I don't like to exercise. The number 1 place in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, the UK, the USA, the number 1 place in the Western world where people go if they feel sick or tired or if they're overweight is where? The doctor. And the doctor says, I don't like to exercise. We have a lot of work to do. And the biggest challenge we've got is that we think that's really funny that the doctor would say such a thing, but the doctor doesn't take us seriously. As fitness professionals, as personal trainers, fitness people, the doctors don't take us seriously. So this is a quick reminder this morning, particularly those of you that have come back. This is a really big reminder as to why simply the way we dress is so important. If I were to take Todd, for instance, and you're 17, would that be right? 18. He's 18 now. If we were to put him in shorts and a singlet, how old would he look? 16, 15, 12? No, he's too tall for that. But if he walks downstairs to the doctor now and introduces himself, even though he still looks young, he looks professional. And whether you like it or not, you get 1 chance to make a first impression. How many chances? 1. Only 1 chance, and between 0 and 30 seconds to make that impression. So the way we look is incredibly important. And as we go through this morning, you'll understand why our interaction, our relationship, our communications with the medical professionals, the allied health professionals and the doctors is so incredibly important. Because what we're going to look at today is the biggest killers in the world today. Please write them down so you know what they are. If you don't, you will know them already, but this is just a reminder. Number 1 killer in the world today is coronary heart disease. Coronary heart disease. It's called heart attack. Heart stops pumping. What happens? What? Thank you. In most cases, the first symptom of heart disease is sudden death. Did you not know that? In most cases, the first symptom of coronary heart disease is sudden death. Most people are running around with coronary heart disease and they don't even know that they've got it because they're predominantly men. Men don't go to the doctor. Men don't get their blood pressure checked. Men don't get their cholesterol checked. They don't feel very good, but they just keep going because they're big, tough blokes. And the first symptom of coronary heart disease is... oh my goodness, my husband's not here anymore. Isn't that just awful? Now, 80% of coronary heart disease is completely preventable. I'm going to say that again. 80% of coronary heart disease is completely preventable. So in Australia today, 50,000 people every year die of heart attack. 80% of that is completely preventable. By what?
Exercise.
And healthy eating plan. Regular exercise, healthy eating plan. Regular exercise, healthy eating plan. Not a hard exercise program, a regular exercise program.
How many people would you say die from that every year in Australia?
50,000.
50,000.
50,000 people every year die of a heart attack where the number one symptom, the first symptom was myocardial infarction. So, as fitness professionals, 80% of those people, around 40,000, don't need to die. That's a lot of people. That's a small country town, like Bathurst. You could save a whole country town in a year. But when somebody isn't well, where do they go? The fitness professional or to the doctor? What the doctor say? Don't exercise, don't like it. If the doctor says they don't like it, what hope have we got of getting the patient to do some exercise? Isn't that interesting? What does the doctor give somebody who doesn't feel very well? Here, take a pill. Now, 20%, according to the Heart Foundation and the general practitioners and the medical professionals, 20% of people that die of a heart attack, we can't do anything about it, supposedly. I'd like to introduce you to, and later on this morning you're going to talk to her at length, but I'd like to introduce you to a classic example of that 20%. My mother's mother died of a heart attack. My mother's brother died of a heart attack. My mother has had a child die of a heart attack. Everybody in her family didn't make it past the age of 60. That's the 20% group that have a genetic challenge with their heart. That's the 20% group that we're not supposed to be able to help. My mother's 86 this year. She's in her 86th year. Hasn't had the birthday yet. And she's had 2 massive heart attacks where the doctors called, the cardiologist has called us and said, your mother has had a heart attack, she's about to die. Best you get to the hospital, say goodbye because she's finished. Hello! How's she looking to you? And this morning she's going to box and do strength training. So supposedly that 20% group that as fitness professionals we can't help, guess what? See, she presented at the doctor with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And guess what the doctor gave her? A big bunch of pills. And you'll have a look at them this morning. Norvasc and Lipitor, write it down. They're the 2. Lipitor's for cholesterol and Norvasc is for high blood pressure. And they gave her a big pile and said, please take these so you don't have a heart attack.
To the rest of your life.
What we also need to understand is that when you take any form of drug, it has side effects. Any form of drug that you take has a side effect. Every single drug that the doctor writes a prescription for has some kind of a side effect. When we write an exercise prescription, what's the side effect of a strength training program or a cardiovascular exercise program? What's the side effect? Fit and healthy, feel good, good self-esteem, stronger muscles, better heart rate. We have great side effects. There's a drug that the doctors dispense for people that are obese. It has an interesting side effect. Spontaneous anal leakage. Just put those words together for me. Spontaneous anal leakage. That means you do number 2s when you don't want to and you're not expecting it. Is that a good fun drug? When we write an exercise program for people that are overweight, what is the side effect of putting someone in an exercise program when they're overweight? Immediately that you start them on the exercise program, even if they don't lose weight immediately, how do they feel? If you're sitting on a couch and you have spontaneous anal leakage, how do you think you would feel? Not very good. You see, what we've got to offer is absolutely incredible. Our product, what we do, is absolutely incredible. The reason I'm so excited that you're here is that I reckon at your school there's a few people that, you know, they think that becoming a doctor or becoming a physiotherapist or becoming a chiropractor or becoming a dietitian is really important because you have to have big marks to get into those positions. Well, let's have a look at what doctors do and physiotherapists and chiropractors and dietitians. What do? They help cure, maintain, look after some of the biggest diseases in the world today, yes? As fitness professionals, what do? We do all of that. We can take somebody that's got coronary heart disease and take them to the ripe young age of 86. We can get rid of osteoporosis without a pill, but we also prevent it. So which is more important, becoming a doctor or becoming a fitness professional? Hey, how good does that make you feel? Type 2 diabetes. In New Zealand, because of the Polynesian population, it's the highest per capita in the whole world. South Auckland is the highest in the whole world. Type 2 diabetes is completely preventable. So it just shouldn't exist. As soon as you lose weight, what happens to type 2 diabetes? It's gone. If you've watched Biggest Loser, most of those guys have presented with type 2 diabetes. When they leave the house, type 2 diabetes not there anymore, simply because they lost weight. Can you see why what you guys are going to do is so exciting? We're taking away some of the biggest killer diseases in the world today. And not only are they killer diseases, but if you don't die of a heart attack, what's your quality of life?
Very shocking.
If you don't die of osteoporosis, which, by the way, 50% of women that are diagnosed with osteoporosis within 12 months are dead. I'm going to say that again. 50% of women that are diagnosed with osteoporosis within 12 months, they're dead. Now, they don't die of osteoporosis. You don't die of weak bones. But what happens to your quality of life if somebody puts you in a walking frame and says, don't move anymore? What happens to your quality of life? What if you've got no one to look after you? What are you going to do? You're going to be stuck in a couch for the rest of your life. Women just lose their desire to be around anymore. And when that's gone, you are dead. Whether you're physically in the ground or not, mentally you're dead. But it's completely preventable. Turn to the person next to you and say, I can prevent osteoporosis. Go. I can prevent osteoporosis. I can prevent type 2 diabetes. Go. I can prevent coronary heart disease, the #1 killer in the world today, and I can prevent it. Go. Oh, how good does that feel? What about this one? Mature people get it all the time. My mother was just saying this morning she talks to her old friends. Isn't that funny? When an 85-year young lady says that she talks to her old friends. She said,
much younger than that.
absolutely. You know what they say? Oh, we're really lonely. Why do people get lonely? Can't get out and meet people. How about this? They don't feel very good about themselves. Because when you love who you are, you like hanging out with yourself, yes? Because you're a nice person and you're a good person and you like who you are. If you're fit and strong and healthy, how do you feel about yourself?
Awesome.
I went to your school for Mental Health Week. I don't know about you, Joanna, because we were about the same maturity. But when I went to school, there was no such thing as a Mental Health Week. When I asked your Year 12 coordinator why you had to have a Mental Health Week at your school, do you know what she said to me? She said, we've got over 50% of our kids on some kind of antidepressant medication in Year 11 and 12. Over 50% of our Year 11s and 12s are on some kind of antidepressant medication. doctors put mature people on antidepressant medication on a regular basis. If you go to the doctor today and you say, look, I don't feel very good about myself, I feel a bit depressed, guess what the doctor's likely to do? Give you some antidepressant medication. What did I tell you about drugs? Every drug has a side effect. The purpose of an antidepressant medication is to even out the serotonin levels in your brain, which is the happy drugs in your brain. Yeah? Guess what exercise does? The minute you start exercising, guess what happens to the serotonin levels in your brain? They start to even out. The effect of exercise is exactly the same as the effect of taking an antidepressant medication. But antidepressant medications have some serious side effects. What's the side effect of exercise? Oh, you get fit and healthy and strong and you feel good about yourself. Depression right now is one of the biggest challenges. 12s are on some kind of antidepressant medication. I've got a gorgeous lady who's at my house right now looking after my house for me. She's got a little boy diagnosed, don't you love that word, with ADD, HD, DA, PPs, AAHD, DA, that, you know what I'm talking about. And he's on 4 lots of Ritalin every day. But that's to calm him down. And she couldn't really explain it to me either. Her kid's on this huge medication. She couldn't really explain to me what it was. But he has to take another one because that calms him down. But the other one brings him up and the other one brings him down. He's got this handful of pills. He's like 4. I said, is this a good thing going on here? She said, well, I don't really know. What I do know is that he likes to run around and in school he's got to sit down. I'm not telling you that we can cure depression because I don't really know what it is. What I do know is that when people exercise and they feel fit, healthy and strong, are they more or less likely to need an antidepressant medication? When you're fit, healthy and strong, you feel good about yourself. The challenge with depression is you don't feel good about yourself. People who get lonely are people that don't like hanging out with themselves. My mother would rather hang out with herself than most other people. She likes hanging out by herself. Do you know, when you have a mother that's nearly 86 and she likes to hang out by herself and she still lives by herself and she's really capable of looking after herself, how cool's that? We hoiked her out of the retirement village. She used to live in one of those in Port Macquarie. Why do you think we put her out of retirement village? She's getting old in there. She was hanging out with all the old people, and what happens when you hang out with old people? They whinge and moan and complain about their aches and pains and carry on. Now, here's where this morning starts. I'm out changing the world. I marry Kerry. We're changing the world together, yeah? We're travelling all over Australia and New Zealand, and we're sharing the great news about exercise and strength training with the whole world. My mother comes up from Port Macquarie on holidays to our house at the Gold Coast in Broadbeach and shares with us that she's been diagnosed by the orthopaedic surgeon because she'd broken her ankle several times with advanced osteoporosis. So she pulls out the report. She's had a bone mineral density test and she's got advanced osteoporosis and she's also got a walking stick. She's come to our house. We're out changing the world and my own mum comes to my house with a walking stick. Advanced osteoporosis, along with a fistful of pills for coronary heart disease and high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and a puffer for asthma, and some pills for going to the bathroom when you don't want all that's not working very well, and this fistful of stuff. The reason I'm here this morning is if you've got a more mature person in your life, I don't want you to be out changing the world. Start with the people around you. Make sure that the people around you, Reg, are fit, healthy and strong. Because they're the people. My mother now talks about old people. How good's that? Because she's a young person again. So what happened? How did we go from advanced osteoporosis, coronary heart disease, you're going to die of a heart attack, you've got to take a fistful of pills every day, to this gorgeous young woman that sits in front of you today? But here's our small challenge. Kerry says straight away, let's take that walking stick away from you. And the first thing he gets to do, and I remember she's standing in our kitchen in our apartment in Broadbeach, and he gets her to stand on one leg. It was the first exercise. We're just testing your balance. Because why would there be a challenge with balance? Think about it. Strength, because why?
It's a walking stick.
They've given her a walking stick for osteoporosis. Just quickly, osteoporosis is when your bones get so thin that when you fall over they break. That's what they used to say. Your bones get so thin that when you fall over they break. Here's what the consensus is now. That your bones get so thin that they break. And that causes you to fall over. Isn't that scary? So now that's where my mother was. What supports your bones for a start? What pulls on the bones to make the bones strong? Because the muscles are connected to the bones, yes? When you have strong muscles, so when you are strong, when you are strength training, what are the muscles doing to the bone? They're pulling on the bone, which makes the bone stronger. As you mature, get chronologically older, because we don't want to do that, do we? We might have to get chronologically older, but we don't want to get older. As you chronologically get more mature, which muscle fibres, there's several different kinds of muscle fibres, you all know that, yes? Which ones deteriorate? The slow twitch or the fast twitch? So if you've got weak bones which break and then you fall over, which are the ones that stop you from falling over? The fast twitch, which are deteriorating because you've gotten older. Why Reg is on a walking frame? Because he now needs something to hold him up. Why though? Because you've stopped using the fast twitch ones, because as you get older, what do people say to you? Slow down, take it easy, don't do so much, don't jump around, don't skip, don't run up and down the stairs, don't do anything. What happens if you lie in a hospital bed and don't do anything? Even if you're 20, what happens? Exactly right. At 20 you can get old. So the first thing we did with Mutti was just to balance, because when you're on one leg, what do all the little tiny muscles now have to do? They have to work, don't they? So then it was a single leg squat. Hang on to something if you need to, but just do a single leg squat. So we sent her home with a group of really easy exercises to do back to Port Macquarie. I got on the telephone and I looked around Port Macquarie for a personal trainer. It was quite a long time ago. She was 74 then, so quite a long time ago. But I found a personal trainer and I said, this is going to be a really interesting experience, because Kerry said very beautifully to Mutti, we need you to go to the gym at 74. You need to go to the gym to get stronger. And Mutti said, I'm not going to the gym, I'll have to wear one of those things in my bottom. Now, there's the challenge straight away. Can you see why when I walk into this room today and you're all wearing suits? My own mother didn't want to go to the gym because who was wearing a G-string? She didn't go to the gym, so she didn't know what we were wearing at the gym. Who was wearing a G-string? I was wearing a G-string. Her daughter was wearing a G-string, so she thought that to go to the gym, she too had to wear a G-string. Do you think she wanted to go to the gym? No. So I'm not going to the gym. Don't be silly. Why would I go to the gym? So now it wasn't that we had to get her to exercise, we had to now change the mindset. So I'm just going to take you really quickly through the story because I want you to hear it from her, obviously. I rang Jeff, was the name of her trainer, and I said, we're going to have some real challenges. My father had just died. What I did know was that male relationships for more mature women's a really cool thing. So I'm now talking to the very young, good-looking men in the room. It's really nice. What's your guy's name? Bob? He loves it. He loves seeing you. Apart from the fact that you're getting him stronger, it's just this gorgeous woman comes into his life. Jeff was a good-looking young man, and I knew that it would be a very nice experience for my mother to spend some time with a good-looking man. So I said, all I want you to do, she walks every day, or she walks on a regular basis. Don't do anything except just rock up there and take her walking. He said, that would be my pleasure. She'll tell you what happened. In his mind, he knew, though, that he had to get her to the gym, because with advanced osteoporosis, she's got to be lifting heavy things. So he took her through this amazing process. They would go walking in the park, and he would get her to sit on the park bench, but no hands, and come straight back up again. So you can't sit down, you just got to go down and come back up again. What's happening when because she's not a lightweight lady, when she's sitting down and standing back up again, what's she lifting? Her whole body weight. Wow. And in balance, because what do most old people do? Now she has to use her core strength and her big muscles, so they're getting stronger. Monkey bars in the park. Why don't we just get you to hang off those monkey bars? We'll stretch you out. How about you try and lift yourself up a little bit on those monkey bars? She had a little garden. He asked her to fill up some buckets with sand because you said your nan doesn't really lift stuff. He got her to fill up some buckets with sand and move the dirt around in her garden. But as she did it, she just needed to bend her knees. So what's she lifting? Weights. So no gym, no gym. I'll let Multi tell you the rest of that story. What I do want to tell you is I did get a telephone call from her one morning from Port Macquarie. Very unusual for my mother to call me. Usually I have to call her. She saves all her pennies to go on her overseas holidays every year. And she calls me and I said, Multi, where are you? And she said, I'm at the gym. She was at the Port Macquarie gym. I said, what are you doing there? She said, I'm working out. Really? What are you wearing? Didn't ask that. You see, what happened was Jeff built up a beautiful relationship with my mother, a trust relationship, that when he suggested to her one day, why don't you come and see where I work at the gym, because they were such good friends, she was happy to go. Now, there's a whole other story after that, because we then moved her to the Gold Coast, to out the retirement village, and she's trained with Be Huge, because I think that's her favourite trainer ever.
That was the first one.
And when you see her train today, because not only are you going to watch her train her whole program, she's actually going to do her physical gym program today. I want you guys to train her. So somebody's going to hold the pads for her while she boxes, and some of you are going to take her through the leg press, and she does push-ups and she does lawn mowing exercises and squats. It's quite amazing to watch what she can do. Now remember, she started this at 74 with walking through the park, lifting sand buckets and squatting on a park bench. So this is what you see today, isn't something you would give to Reg tomorrow, for instance. It was a long process. But what is the really exciting thing now is her last bone mineral density test. What was the first one? Advanced osteoporosis. The last one she had was slight osteopenia. Now, any woman who's had any kind of dieting experience from around the age of 14, 15 through to about 25, if they had a bone mineral density test, they would have slight osteopenia. Because if you haven't been eating properly, your bones have been sucked of calcium and protein. That's just happened because you haven't been eating properly. My mother now has the same bone mineral density as an 18 to 25-year-old woman. And she's 86 this year. What do we do with her osteoporosis? We boot it in the arse. How good's that? And it's the best way I can put it. Because when I heard that statistic that 1 in 3 women get osteoporosis, and after 12 months 50% of them are dead, that really scared me, because my father died and I didn't believe that my father should have died. I reckon I could have helped him a lot. But I'm going to keep her alive, kicking, walking up and down stairs, boxing, swimming in the ocean. Her great-granddaughter's 21st birthday party is the goal. And her great-granddaughter is 3. Is that right? Oh. So she's got a lot of years to be kicking on. That's the goal at the moment. Now, just interestingly, from my point of view, that's me. I'm the youngest daughter. I have 3 sisters and a brother. They are my biggest challenge with my mother. The doctor's always been, because of what is, even the doctor, the general practitioner constantly says, slow down, stop doing so much, don't do so much exercise. I'm getting that from the GP. But my own brothers and sisters are exactly the same. Don't force her to do so much. She gets tired. She's 85. Leave her alone. Constantly. If I left her alone and let her sit all day long, how long do you think she's going to be with us for? She's in that 20% group of coronary heart disease where she should be dead. She should be dead. Twice the cardiologist has said to me, come to the hospital, your mother's had a heart attack, She's going to die. Now, just before I introduce you officially to my mother,
That's not much more important. She won't make the night.
she won't make the night. The last time, this is a really good analogy for exercise, by the way. The first time, the operation was about an hour and a half, probably. And they went up through her hip with a little thing, an electrode thing. If she'd had that same operation, Jack Welch from GE, the CEO of GE, had one, exactly the same operation. It was open heart surgery, bypass surgery, which is a 3-hour operation, and they cut you open. You get a big scar down your chest. Not anymore. Not this last time, but the one before. It was about an hour and a half operation. They went up through her hip. The last one she had, they went through her arm. Just a little mark in her arm. When they took the thing out, you couldn't even tell that they'd been in there. She went in at 3 o'clock and she was out at 25 past 3. Finished. Operation over. Alive, kicking, smiling, fine. I talked to the cardiologist straight after the operation. We just finished. He's coming to see how she is. 25-minute operation. And I said, how'd she go? And he said, well, we put 2 stints in there. We had a look at the other one that was put in 2 years ago or 3 years ago. That one's perfectly fine. We just can't believe how clean and lovely it was. We've put 2 more in. She had a 98% blockage, I think, and a 90% blockage. So that's myocardial infarction. That's dead, pretty much. And we want to have a look at them in 10 years. That's 96. How good's that? And when we have a look at them, they should be good because they're rated on what we've just seen. They should be great. 10 years after that, we might need to replace them. That's 106. Do you know how cool that is when the cardiologist tells you that your 86-year-old mother is going to be around for the next 20 years, even though she's in that 20% group that should have died of a heart attack already? Isn't that fantastic? So she's living and breathing. I could talk about her, but here she is. Please make Mutti feel very...
Thank you very, very much.
Look, you've got to have this little thing on because you're very important.
You're a superstar.
Who can follow that? I can't say another thing anymore. She said it all, didn't she? What do you want to know? Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. Very welcome. Nice to see you. You really look fantastic. And I like that. And she put all these points out. So I'm actually here for your benefit. You asked me all the questions. I asked the first one. How do you feel if somebody comes like my age and my compliance and all the things you heard about it, and somebody comes to you and say, I would like to be trained by you. Now be honest, we're here in a family. Tell me, how would you feel at the first?
Scared. Frightened.
Frightened is a better word. Yeah, we're still all alive. And we want to live still for a long time. Anything else apart from frightened?
Worried?
Why frightened?
Because you've got all these conditions that I don't know how to help you.
Handle it, okay. We'll come back to that. What's the other one here?
Worried.
Worried, yeah. Something else? Frightened, worried? Don't know how to get about it?
Yeah, unsure.
Yeah, that's a good answer too. Okay, well, I warn you, if you don't ask a lot of questions, I'm like my daughter, that's in your genes too. I don't shut up. So ask a lot of questions, and I'm here today for your benefit. What would you like to know? How to handle the situation? Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds.
Motivation.
Yes?
How would I go about motivating?
How to motivate a person like me? Well, you said it all. Shall we go right back to the beginning again?
What is it that you've come to me to do? What's your goal? What's your health and fitness
Yeah,
goal?
that's a very important one, isn't it? That's true. Anybody else? What else would you like to know?
How do you feel? Like, how do you feel as you are now? When you first come into me, I'd ask, how do you feel about yourself?
Yeah. What shall we do about it?
Yeah.
Where shall we start? And so I give you the first warning. What we are doing after what's in there, that's 10 years' work. So don't you do that on the first day. Isn't it? So that's the first lesson. You got to start slowly and build it up. And then the next lesson is she has emphasized very, very strongly, and that's most important, to make a friend of your client. Now, this particular person, it's happened like that. Usually, yes, I can't do it any better than my dear daughter explained it. You really got to overcome a mental complex. Everybody has a different mental complex. You can't change your boyfriend or your father or your mother's mind, isn't it? But little or known an elderly person to get into the gym. But Rowena explained it, everything very beautifully. But that's how it actually happened. So it was very easy. I was in the retirement village, and one morning there's a knock on my door, and there's this very nice little gentleman standing in front of me, and he said, I'm under strict... What's the word?
Instruction.
Instruction, thank you. I'm under strict instruction from your daughter to get you into the gym. What do you think my reaction was? Never. And now you heard what was my mental capacity. That was my problem, what he had to overcome. Because when we come here on holiday with my husband, you come to Surfers Paradise and you want to go and look around. Not my husband. He just would like to sit all day and watch her. These times he did a lot of aerobic teaching. And so, of course, he would sit there and watch her, and he just would say to me, isn't she like a ballerina? Oh, doesn't she? So, naturally, I thought, well, that's Jim. In a G-string, jump around in front of all these young people, so never for me. So, would you turn your heels and go? Say, this lady, there's no hope? No, this gentleman didn't. He was very, very nice, very courteous. So he asked me a question then, and he said, and by the way, I said, all right, I'm all right. I'm walking, I'm swimming, we're having 3 beautiful beaches here in Port Macquarie. I'm fine. Because he asked me, what are you doing for exercise? And then he said to me, well, may I join you? Well, now the ball was really in my corner, and I had to answer that question. How do I get around that? Because as you, and that is true, you can live in one of these retirement villages. Very nice. It was the Catholic KLDH. And you can come and go as you like, and you can enjoy, or you can live by yourself. But also I knew it takes only that much behind the curtain. And everybody knows everybody, what he's doing, what he's coming, he's going. Me, 70 odd, with this nice gentleman to walk out here, it's just not a thing to be done. It's just not done. How can I even think about it? But then, as my daughter very cleverly said, I have always been a person like that, and I began to think straight away in my mind. Well, I'm not directed by other people's mind. I actually have always done when something's right, I'll go ahead and do it. To prove it, when I came here, my doctor, who had in Port Macquarie now after my husband's death, I felt, well, it's high time I go and do something about myself, because when you have an elderly, my husband was 11 years older than I am, and you care for him for many years, you forget about yourself. And we become very friendly with the local doctor who looked after my husband. He came nearly every day. And so then after my husband was gone, after a while I said, well, I think it's about time to look after myself. So I went to him and I said, is there anything we can do about my backache? Nurses, I was a fully trained nurse, all nurses have backaches. They either give up or they grin and bear it. And while I looked after my husband, I didn't care much about it. So he said, well, of course we have to make some x-rays first and find out. And that was the first time where they diagnosed me when he came back. You have very serious osteoporosis. And then very soon I came here. And so he wrote a report. He said, now make sure you get a doctor there wherever you go. I will write a report, you hand it in. Naturally, I opened it up and had a look at it. Cut a long story short, the bottom line was, she's a loner, but she's a good one. You worked that out. But that was really to the point. So much so for that. I warned you, I talk too much. What do you want to like next? What would you like to know next?
Keep telling the story about Jeff. What did you do with Jeff?
Oh, what I do with Jeff? Yeah. So here, that's your first lesson. So first, he didn't give up. So secondly, he asked me what to do. Oh, I asked what. Then I asked, what would it entail? So that's lesson number 2. Every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, never a minute early and never a minute late, he was there on the spot, perfectly dressed, and we went for a walk. And she showed you. Then first of all, he showed me how to power walk. You know, I was just out of plaster, 6 weeks plaster, and my ankles, both my ankles are broken twice, because I would just need a little stone and I go over and break very easily. So I would just slosh along very carefully, since we're walking stick and things like that. So he showed me power walking. And then, as my daughter said, he showed me, even all my personal trainers these days say to me that he must be a very good one, because I have the perfect position. I hate it, but that's what we do, isn't it? Bum out, down. And I had to touch every park bench. Was not allowed to sit on it, but, and yes, we hang on every playground and pull on every tree, walked in the water, things like that. After 12 months, that went on for 12 months, he would never use the word gym again, because that would have, he knew very well, that would have caused a reaction like in Barcelona, where the steer fights, no? Yes, course. So he was very, very clever about that. But after 12 months, he just asked me a gentle question. Wouldn't you like my daughter said, come and have a look at it where I work? What has changed now from that first morning on the door and 12 months working with him? Right. What else? That's the most important thing. You have to make friends of your clients. Most important. I call my personal trainer, and I've been in this 10 years here now, nearly through all of them, because they get advanced and they go up on the corporate ladder, and then I have to get a new one. But I call them all my psychiatrists, because as you know, I live on my own. I'm the whole week on my own. I come here, I work up. By the way, this is the answer I like the best. When I always just visited her, she always said to me, what are you doing so long in your bedroom every morning? You always late for breakfast. My exercise, because my parents had met in a gym after the first war. And so she had brought us up with, the floor exercise and things like that. No, she said, no. 1/2 an hour once a week in the gym. And walking and swimming. Now that will please any one of your matured, motivated population. Because our body, that is true, needs a whole week to recuperate till we come back again for the next 1/2 an hour next week. And I can honestly say that. Sometimes I usually come here on Monday or Tuesday, and then by Friday I come up again, The body has established. So remember that. 1/2 an hour, and every matured person will enjoy that. And the other thing is that you can tell your clients, we are not here to make you superwoman. What is our mission word? She used it all the time this morning. Come with me. Quality of life. Do I have quality of life? I have it 100% plus. I don't feel my age. I just sometimes wonder, my youth, where is that? It's just so far away, but I'm young now. So I'm living a completely new life. I'm very, very happy about that. So that's the most important thing, that we don't make superwoman, and they don't need to do more than 1/2 an hour once a week in the gym. And I will be very, very happy. Next question. So now, coming back to him, yeah. So, could you, after 12 months, answer a gentle question with a no? Oh yeah, and I've forgotten to say, yes, I call all my personal trainers my psychiatrists, because I'm living on my own. I don't talk practically, apart from going to church in between. Then the rest of the time I live on my own. I don't meet anybody. Nobody even is allowed to come to my door. I have to go downstairs and let them in, So he said, let's come and have a look at it. And so naturally, you couldn't say no, could you, after 12 months? Because what have we established now? Yeah, the same now. All my personal trainers know all about me. I think I know all about them. And this is, it says half an hour in the gym, yes. But it doesn't matter if you stretch it to 3/4, because you shouldn't go bum, 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 bum. You have a massage, and you have a talk, and you ask questions. So that makes it 3/4 of an hour. You can have this few minutes in between, and that makes you establishing your friendship. And that is the most important thing. So on time and make friendship. What else would you like to know?
Tell everybody about your normal exercise program.
Yeah, so, and naturally then he took me to the gym because I couldn't say no. He went around and he demonstrated all the implements in front of me, and then he said, come on, you can do it now too. He took me gently by the elbow and showed me, because what have you done in these last 12 months? And you do it now too, you're going in the afternoon too. What do you call it? Come on.
Exercise.
Yeah, but
Doing the same movements, and now he's going to show you on the
wouldn't you call it gym in the park? And that's exactly what we did for 12 months. We didn't need any implements, we used the nature, and then we do the same thing on the implements. So yes, I did often get asked that question. I did enjoy the gym then very, very much, and I'm going to the gym regularly now, and everybody will have the same thing. So what do you want my lifestyle? Well, as I say, I live on my own. I can come and go at the lake. Usually I go for a long walk by the beach, which is just wonderful. I just love the beach so much. They have done so much. These people from here, I'm living in a resort right by the beach, have a big balcony overlooking the ocean. So the water's always drawing me down. So I go for a long walk until I get too tired, and I lie down in the sun and have a beautiful sunbathe, because vitamin D, isn't it? It's very important. So I do that, and I get up again, and because unfortunately you always have to come back. I would like to go, but you have to come back. Not like you. We had to pick you up as a car sometimes down there at the Double Cities. She's the same. She doesn't want to go, but she said, I'm coming back. So, and then I jump in the surf. Always careful to be in the middle of the flags. The lifesavers sitting there watching me. They know me all now. Because twice I've nearly been washed out. And I don't care what they say down there. I have to, once I come back, you know, this is so funny here. You can, even the other day, beautiful sunshine. And by the time you knew it, what Tuesday night, it just bucketed down before I come home. But I left and go to the sunshine, I lie down in the sun, and then you just could see this beautiful black cloud coming out over. Anyway, so that was one of those days. And so they put all the flags out. Not swimming, no swimming, no swimming, no swimming. But he was still sitting there in his car, so I walked up to him and I said, well, this isn't right. I come back now from my walk, I have to go into this water, because I just love that water just going all over me. He said, you go. I know you're careful, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching you, because I will never go any further than that, and then I'll wait for the best wave to come, and then I come to survive back. There's all this surge going right through me, you know. And people say to me, why don't you get a boogie board? I said, I don't need a boogie board. I want the water going right through me. So, and after I have, and I call it my washing experience. The rougher the better, the more it tumbles me down. And, yes, I have been washed out twice. Once, all of a sudden, there was nothing more there. What happened? So I said, oh yes, I remember, I've got to put my arms up. So I put my arms up. But he sat there and looked at me and he didn't come. What happened? Eventually he said, he must have realized, I think she's in some trouble, I better go and have a look. When I asked him why he didn't come straight away, because by then I was really... He said, I thought you do your exercise. Why out there? And then I thought of it. Yeah, please, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong. Now come on, you be... Yeah? You remember that, please? He did not come because I didn't put one arm up. So that's why he thought I'd do my exercise. And I had my both arms up, because I know that too, but when you have completely forgotten about that, so I put just both arms up. Because I'm a person, even like my children said, even if I stand on the bus stop and I have to wait for the bus. Or for her this morning, I walk forwards and backwards, or I do some exercises. If I sit and relax. And if I have to go somewhere, well, I use the time. So when it's, especially when it's low tide, and you have to walk out for a long time just on your ankle water, you can't get in, you have to wait till you get the water up to here. So I go in this way. I do my stretching exercise, walking into the waves. And so that's what he saw. He knows me. I do that every day. So that's what I'm doing out there. Yeah, so that's my, then it's not enough. When I come back, got to walk a long way back again, and a couple of blocks till I go home. And then we have 2 swimming pools and 2 spas and a sauna and a gym downstairs. So I jump now in the spa when I come back from the beach. Sometimes very hot, and I like it, the difference of it. Put the button on, and you should never do it more than twice. And then I go even right underneath the water, even so it says not to, but I do it now all those years, and it hasn't hurt me, so it must be all right. But I get the strongest jet. We haven't talked about that. I got a you spell it properly. Supraspinatus. Wherever that comes from and what it is, it always hurts up. So I go right under the water and I let that strongest jet to get right on here, And people come and pull me out and things like that. I said, no, don't worry. I do that every time. It doesn't hurt me. I'll be all right. So most of the time when people are there, then I tell them, don't worry, I'm going underwater now, but it is all right. I did it on the boat the other day when I was traveling around Australia. And people got all worried about me. I said, what are you doing under the water? Yeah, so I do that. And not more than twice. Press the button again twice. And that's enough for the heart. You should never stay longer than twice. And then I jump in the swimming pool. And then I do my swimming lengths, because in the surf you can't swim. So I'm just swimming. Then I have a hot and cold shower. And then I'm ready for the day. Any more questions?
Yeah, I'd like to know the reaction of what you call your old friends, what their reaction is towards your exercising.
Yeah, I had already, when I was in hospital with my first heart attack, I said, well, the operation will be... No, I was already out of the operation, and I knew I wouldn't go home the next day. The first one who came and visit me was my first personal trainer, Alan Butler. And he said, I said, oh, my pastor will be downstairs on Saturday morning. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and we go to church on Saturday, like the Bible says. And so he lived in the same building, so we met always in the garage, and I went into his car and went. And so I won't be there tomorrow morning. We have to contact him. What am I going to do? And I'm lying here in hospital. And Alan Butler said, well, no problem, because you sent them already to me. They came here already, pastor and his wife, working out. So naturally I have their phone number, so I will phone them and I will tell him. So I said, oh, then please say, but no, I know what was happening in church. I would say, Annalise is in hospital. But I said, straight away I say, no visitors. Church people are bad. That's what comes me. No. So, and if ever you want to know a real full report, Alan Butler was the first one there after my first operation. The doctor talked to him, like to you, real at length, told him everything about it. I didn't even really know what went wrong with me. I didn't, as a nurse, we say heart attack, you would always go like that, Twice, I never had this experience. I just begin to feel very, very funny. And maybe some pain across the back. And the first time, eventually for 2 days, I still sat around in my apartment on my own, didn't know what's wrong with me, but felt just very funny. And rang them, they were on some lecture trips again, couldn't get them. And then I began to vomit. More and more, and really severe. And have you ever heard of congestion? What's the word? People get that before. The doctor said yes, that is indigestion. And the doctor explained it afterwards. Yes, that's how the heart reacts. If the heart doesn't work anymore, you begin to vomit. This goes on the stomach. So even an old girl like me even had to learn that. So then I thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I ring O. They will give me a tablet, tell me what's on, I'll be fine. So then I was on the operation table before I knew it. So I never knew that I had a heart attack. It just, and even now the second time, they said, it began to feel a little bit. And I said, oh, well then I better won't push it too far. I was ready, I said, to come here like that, to go to a class and go in there working out. I said, I'll go and have a shower. Maybe I ring downstairs. If I down in 15 minutes, they better come and have a look at me in case I collapse in the shower, because I felt that terrible. So, but I rang then Triple O, and I said, I don't know what's wrong with me, but they put straight away all these wires on you, and then I straight away, before I knew again, I was in hospital very quickly. This last time, I treated the whole thing as a wonderful holiday. I was in first class with my TV hanging up there, and all by myself, and wasn't even allowed to, when you're in hospital, they usually make you walking up and down the hall. It's just that I had to wait until the doctor had time to do the operation, and it was about 4 or 5 days. And you get 3 good meals pushed in front of you, actually 5. Oh, a wonderful time. I was reading and enjoying myself. And no pain whatsoever, because they put this just in there, and it goes within a few minutes, everything's over, and then I said, you can go home. So I've called myself a very, very blessed woman because of all the treatments here. And what touched me most, what my daughter said is so true, when they were fully prepared to replace that 3-year-old one, stent, so I have 3 stents now, and I said we were fully prepared to do that. It is as clean, as well clean as if we put it in yesterday, and I was 3 years old. So I must do something right. So we are teaching the right thing here, isn't it? Because even when I come back from, you're only allowed to come every 2nd year for a bone density test. And when I come back, the doctor has to read it out to me. And she said to me, she gave me this terrible, shall I bring it out? My medication. Yeah.
For that stomach test.
Or after.
Or you just came to
I've got to wipe my nose. I got a runny nose today. I put them very handy here.
I've never looked in a nanny bag before. So much stuff in there.
Ladies' handbags is the worst thing in the world, isn't it? Even so, I sort of organize it. Here we are. Organize it very carefully. Forgive me. When I meet you students, several weeks once you go to your graduation, and I remember some of you because I meet so many, and then you all come out in front, so you can't remember. Forgive me. So I asked, how can you remember me? Oh, we remember that, when you did that. And you can pass this around, but I'm not talking from the top of my head. These are all the lap. So we just were talking about this one here. The doctor down here, when I came here, she gave me that. She said, Fosamax. You have to take Fosamax now. It's given to you by the government because you had already broken bones, so you can have it for free. But, and I hate to put chemicals in my body because we know of all the side effects. I'm very, very careful of it. But that was only once every week. Standing up half an hour, I did that every Monday morning. They even sent you to a glass visit, how much water to drink visit, and you've got to stand there for half an hour up straight. I have now a son-in-law who have to do that too. I didn't.
But what's the Fosamax for?
Yeah. So, and she said to me, this will not make it better, but it will, now mark my word now, but it will prevent from getting worse. Very important. Yeah. So now I come back with my first result after 2 years bone density test, and she reads out to me and she says, you are now 10% better in your hip and 5% better in your back. Well, I had to jump off my chair and I said, that's my daughter's treatment. Now I really have to believe what she says. For parents it's always very, very difficult to believe the children. But now I had so much proof I couldn't deny it anymore. By the way, don't believe me, look up the internet. On the computers. That's a very, very dangerous. I have never taken it anymore after that. And I'm still, after every 2 years, become better. 1 or 2 So that was really remarkable, you know.
That's the osteoporosis drug. That's the most prescribed drug for osteoporosis in
Yeah,
Australia today.
and lots of people take it to their own disaster.
And you said to her,
And I said to her, I got to believe my daughter now, because that is what we're doing in the gym. And she just said, no, that's Forcemex. Then I had to tell her. What did I have to tell her? You repeat it now. It will not make it better, but it will prevent from getting worse. I would have been perfectly happy how long it wasn't going worse. But 10% better in 2 years' time, that is really some remark, isn't it? We should talk about the other ones too.
yeah, Lipitor. I'm going to send those around.
Most important, when my husband got very sick and we had to go every day for checkups and things like that, so I made a joke one day and I said, because as a nurse I knew how important blood is, so I was always a very regular blood donor. And when you go, you can't give blood unless they have checked your blood pressure. So that was always perfect. But now it was about 10 years gone. So I just made a joke and I said, oh, what about mine? Oh, it was through the roof. And I said, well, you have to get onto medication, very much to my dislike. We started with 40 mils on Forcemex.
No, Norvask.
No, oh, we finished with that. Sorry, forgive me. And very quickly I could come down, I become normal again, and I said to the doctor, I can go without this now. No, she said, it doesn't work that way. You can do yourself a lot of harm. So we had to bring it down from 40 to 20 to 10 to 5. That's the smallest you can buy it, 5. But now, they said, okay, you don't even need that anymore, you buy it in 2.5. And by the way, with Alan Butler, we had worked for 12 months. I was completely off every one of this, because we had a plaque there, and it was there, sit there. Walking, swimming, exercises, and weightlifting will eventually eliminate all medication, and that's what we had worked to, and I was 12 months completely without it. So where this heart attack came from, I don't know. But anyway, now the doctor said, put me back again. Yeah, you look at this one. That's the cardiac, I can't even spell it. I was to take a piece of paper with me to the chemist, pass it around. That's what the doctor has given me now, the cardio specialist. He said, you got to take that for 12 months to look after your heart. So I better do that. But the lady downstairs said to me, and then he said to me, and you got to take that for the rest of your life. By the way, I learned that from Alan Butler. He said, high blood pressure will always go with high cholesterol. And at that stage, yes, it was 8.5, something like that. So it went together.
And what is it now?
Just last week, 4.5. I got my blood test papers there. So now she tells me down there, that's the same lady who doesn't like exercise. She said to me, don't take it. But he said to me, I have to take it to the rest of my life. She said, well, you don't need to tell him. But don't take it, because it's really dangerous for you. So good for her. So I'm trying to I'm down to 1 a week, you know, and I'll bring it down slowly, how I had to learn from the other ones. Another thing you have to be very, very careful is people that matured moderate population will have eye trouble. And with eye trouble in the gym, when you can't see properly, when I came here first, I would have walked through every glass door. You were like just like a film to me, you know. So I had 3 cataract operations, 2 laser beam treatments, and now eventually I got it right. I can see you again. But people, that is very normal. People at our age will have this problem. I have to take these eye drops now, morning and night, 1 drop, for the rest of my life in order to keep on seeing. And my eyes are very important, so we have to do that. So you can see how important it is that you find out the medication from your client. And another thing, what we're talking about here is pretty private, isn't it? And not every one of your clients will come forward and tell you all this. So I have heard just recently in Brisbane, they had a medical institute or something like that, and many of our personal trainers, what you called it, professionals, that's very, very good, were invited to attend. And the doctors admitted, they said, if your client not come forward, we tell you all the details, you can come to us and we will tell you. It is important to know the medication. Ellen Butler even told me that he has found out with many, by the way, he said, you can go to your doctor and ask him for the medical book, because he's got to have every week, every year a new one. You know, the prescription, what's in these different medications. Sometimes patients don't even know they're taking they're taking medications which are actually dangerous in crossing. And he has found that out with many of them. So you have to know the medication of your client. It's another big trick. So I think that's about the most important thing. Shall we talk about that? Mm-hmm. I had never asthma, and I get still very mad about it when each time I want to go on an overseas trip and you've got to give a health insurance, I've got to go to the doctor, and especially me after 80, no cover, you know, and she's got to write everything out. And asthma will appear each time. I said, I haven't got asthma. But this is how it happens, and that's why it's still in my record. We came here in November 1950. We left Germany. Bitterly cold. Come my fur coat. What do you think it was here when we landed here? Very hot and humid in Oldbury down there. And so that in itself is for the body already a big transformation. But then if anybody knows anything about there, these Andaluvian hills, they were all covered in a beautiful purple flower. If the cows eat it, they die. Peterson curse, you heard about it? And in the spring, and the wind blew it, and so I got high fever. Whew. I sent the children to the river, because we always were big swimmers down at the river, and I just put the blanket over me, and as a nurse I sat there and then to myself, I will never forget it. If that never will get over into asthma, I'll be very, very surprised, because it was just raining and sneezing. But the season went over, and then I was pregnant with twins also. So the children grow up, the season went, never more for 20 years, no sign. Then I go on a holiday. I can highly recommend it. She doesn't like me talking about it. But go to New Zealand if you need a good holiday on a boat. 3 days and 3 nights, you can't go anywhere. You stay on the boat and just walk around the decks and things like that. And I was looking forward for the 3rd time. We came just from the Sounds, Dunedin, and right up to the Bay of Isle. I was looking forward to go on one of those catamarans to see the rock formations. But the captain blew his foghorn and said, nobody leaves the ship. I'm responsible for all your lives, and the fog is so heavy, I can't even see myself, and so we turned straight back, 3 days and 3 nights back into Sydney. And in that 3 days and 3 nights, he had to blow the foghorn every half an hour in order to see himself where we go. We go into Sydney Harbour, beautiful sunshine, everything nice. My son picks me up and he said, Mother, you look terrible. I said, yeah, I don't feel too well, but I've seen people with things like that, those puffers. No, who is it? Have you sent it away? No, this one, yeah, Brigano. You know, these puffers, when people can't breathe and they have these puffers, but I never had any problem, so I never had anything like that. So he took me straight away to the doctor, gave me very heavy of all these blowers and things like that. In a few days I was perfectly all right. No, not another sign again. Till just a few months back here, my cleaning lady came in and she said, you look terrible. She called the ambulance straight away, I bring me in the hospital, and I said, you got very severe asthma now. And it's gone again. But years ago, that's me again, the doctor said, we're not too happy here, he sent me to a lung specialist, the lungs is right, everything's perfect, but there is something here we don't like about it. So let's take this, and it's called Seretide. Anybody haven't seen about it? And that's how you act about it. He said, this is a preventative measure. Just every morning, she downstairs wants me to do it twice a day. I wouldn't do that. So you blow out, and then rinse your mouth straight away so that any residues goes away. So I hadn't taken that for a long time either, because I felt so good and I thought that I need it. And again I said, but now I learned my lesson, so I take that just every morning. So these are the medications I take. And of course, I have to see my specialist in May again, the last one, who tells me that I have to stay on that stuff till the rest of my life. But I think I will tell him that I won't. Because I said, I know something better. I think the gym is doing much, much better to me than all these medications. Again, I talk too much. Questions?
Yeah, I've got one. With training you, I'd just be unsure of how hard to make you work, and like I wouldn't want to do anything to injure you more or make you like I wouldn't know how to push you.
Very relevant question. That question comes up every time. Why would you be frightened by the time you are graduated and a professional? You had all the lectures. You have all the books. By the way, my dear daughter written all this. You are so professional, this won't even happen.
Yeah.
There will be no accidents, because in every situation you are so well trained, you will know exactly what to do. Apart from the eye problems, don't let the people over their protruding legs to fall over. Take them gentle by the elbow when you know that they have eye problems, and that will be fine. Satisfied? I can highly recommend this. You will not have any accident. I'm here now for 10 years, and I haven't heard about one single accident. Another question?
We're going to take her into the gym and show you exactly what to do and how to do it.
Yep.
How hard to train her, you'll see.
You're only halfway through yet, so you're not quite finished. I don't quite understand this question.
And and also just when you started off like doing squats,
Yep.
did you say was that like for you uncomfortable? Did you want to like did you really want to do that? Like I wasn't sure.
In other words, people ask me, is it painful? Do you have pain? And things like that. I would say no. When you do it properly,
Yep.
oh, this way, the bum out and down.
That's cool. Yeah, no pain.
No problem, no pain. Because the body gets so used to it. The muscles are used to it.
What's your favourite exercise?
Ha! My leg press.
Leg press?
Why? Because I can lie down. But no, it's not alone. I got a very good support for the back. No? You put your legs up and you do it all with your leg, and the back has a good support. Now, here's another lesson. Your book says, and it's perfectly right, once your client has reached comfortably a certain weight, you increase it. So I was, my trainer was on holidays and I was over there, sent to somebody else. And he did exactly that. So I obviously pushed 160 quite comfortably, so he had increased it to 170. They stood all behind me, they didn't tell me, so I pushed it up by myself, and they all said, she did it, she did it, she did it. But yes, I could feel something here. Something happened there. My daughter took me to a bone specialist, and he said, that's the lesson he told us. Matured, multi-weight population, that's what you have to learn. Not too heavy weights. We're stopping now at 120, 130. But if I would have done, but you increase your repetition. Get me? I'll repeat it. When I did 170, I probably did 12. Yeah? Now I can do 20 and 30 at 120. That goes for any other heavy weight. Not too heavy weight for the matured population. Matured, motivated population. I have a little trouble. Would you believe when I got here I couldn't speak a word of English, and I would never have thought that I will stand in front of a class. So if I say something wrong, you correct me. I appreciate that very, very much. So have we answered that well? So remember that. Not too heavy, but more repetition.
Yeah.
As younger people, that's a different story.
That's good to know.
Have I answered your question?
Yeah.
Did you guide them as to what weight you're comfortable at to stop, like you said, 120?
Yeah, we're quite, especially now after that. That's a big story. Maybe that will answer it. When I was in, when I was in hospital the first time, and my daughter said to me when she heard that don't send any visitors, I said, brace yourself, because the whole college will come and visit you. And so it was. The operation was about Friday afternoon. It was now Sunday morning. I had a big room to myself overlooking Surfers Paradise, full of flowers, full of presents, beautiful white teddy bear, and all this. And I seen somebody else coming from the back. I realized him straight away. It was one of our personal trainers. And he had a great big white box. You know, they carry the wedding cakes in it, you know, a very white glass box. And they had a little trouble finding me muddy up there. I wasn't, my fiver hadn't gone quite too muddy up there. That find came from my son-in-law. And so finally he found me, he came in, he opened this box, and that was in it. Blue, my favorite color, my name on it. Now I have my own private one. I don't need to go in the back and get some there. And when I go home, they go for the whole week on my balcony in the sun, you know, to get desensitized, you know, use them again. So I was very, very happy with that. It was the best present I ever had received, really, in that respect. So I put the lid back on again, put it next to my bed on the floor. That box, everybody, what's in the box? What's in the box? From the specialist to the matron, the sister, cleaning lady, visitors, till I couldn't stand it anymore. I took the lid and put it underneath. So everybody, boxing gloves, heart attack. How does this go together? So there was eventually one doctor came on a visit and we asked him, when can I be boxed again? Because he looked at this too. Honestly, he fell 3 steps backwards and he said, sorry, I cannot answer that question. I have never been asked that questions, and I'll not be able to answer it. How much do they learn about exercise and diet in their 6 years, isn't it? So I said, I know where to go. I go to my son-in-law. He has a university degree in physical fitness. He will tell me when I can box again, because I really like that the best. You walk in and you get heated up boxing. That's my fiber. And well, he said, of course you will, and you will see today. It's not even, I just worked it out this morning, it's not even 6 months since my last, it was only in the middle of October, the last heart attack, and we are boxing like, you know, like nothing ever happened again. He said to me, just take it steady, because you will find that kind of cases in amongst you, and so that makes you strong. So, anything else you want to know, or we go and work out? Come on, that's the last sentence while we're still in there.
Did you doubt yourself much?
Pardon?
Throughout the exercising, did you doubt yourself very much? Or
Doubt myself.
yeah, in your abilities to...
Why should I doubt myself?
That's what I'm asking.
That is actually a good one. That's true. Because you so fully rely on your professional. Once you graduated, you are professional. And you know every situation, and I trust you fellas completely, even if I have to take a different one every day. But you all have the same training behind you, and I can trust you completely. I don't need to worry about a thing. I come in here and I enjoy myself and I have fun. I can really say that. I have fun in the gym. I like it very much. Today we do it twice. We do it here now, and now we're going on to Brisbane and do it in the Brisbane class in the afternoon, the same thing. And tomorrow night we go for graduation.
Absolutely.
So, don't I have... So, any more questions or we go? Usually I'm well out here by this time.
We're going to, yeah, she hasn't trained for a little while, so she's really keen. We're going to do boxing for a warm-up. So who would like to hold the pads?
The strongest, firm. Yes.
You're on, David.
You got to stand real firm, yeah? Don't move.
And give
Firm.
it a bit back.
Firm like a rock.
And this is a classic example, because who's the most mature person in the room today? So who's the boss in the room today? So who's going to tell us what to do today? Exactly right.
You can use that again. I am not anybody special. I'm just a normal 85 like anywhere else. And you can use, I give you permission, and use it as much as you can. We have met this lady, we've seen what she can do, everybody else can do it too. We are here to make the world a better place. There's
Wow.
nothing about it. But I just start slowly. No? What we're doing in there now, that's 10 years' work.
The other thing I'd love for you to do, because I believe that she should have at least 15 hugs every day. When you do hug her, first of all, think about what most an 85-year-old woman usually doesn't have this kind of posture. How does she normally look? hunched over. Yeah, so the posture's fantastic. She has gotten a little bit shorter because her bones have shrunk, muscles have shrunk.
Yeah, now I have, after the first 2 years she said, oh, you haven't even shrunk. But now I've been 3 or 4 times for bone density test. She said, now you have shrunk 2 centimeters.
She's 2 centimetres shorter. But what I'd like you to do is when you give her a hug is have a feel of this body. It's strong and solid. It's just brilliant. You can give her a big hug and feel really comfortable giving her a hug. What you do need to know is that even at 85, in her 86th year, she still is concerned about how she looks. And she will say to you, I would like to lose some weight. I figured that when you're of this maturity, you should really be able to eat whatever you want to. However, she does have heart attack challenges, so we like everything in moderation. Would that be correct?
I have to confess, I'm a shopaholic. Because, look, I haven't told you everything of my life, but I've been in 3 labor camps during Hitler's time in my teenagers. We had nothing to eat through all these years. I'm up for it now. And they spoiled me. Last Mother's Day. Big, not a normal chocolate box, a big one.
So what we're keeping in moderation so that the cholesterol's good, the blood pressure's good, the resting heart rate's good, the posture's good, the bone mineral density's good, which means her weight is not affecting her health. That's when it's a challenge. So you'll see I'll be the first person, if her blood pressure goes up or her cholesterol goes up, then we have a real close look at her diet again. But I figure that when you're 85 and you like to eat chocolate, you should be able to do that. But maybe that's because I'm...
The other thing, while we're at the shoulders, one doctor said to me, you have 2 boyfriends sitting in the back. And you're going to feel it when you come and massage me. It's real 2 big lumps. And I said to him, so what is it? And I won't leave you. And he said, well, that is of the body. I asked him then, what's the good of a massage? My dear daughter gave me for Christmas time 1 massage every day, so once a month, right through the year. It's fantastic, I can tell you. Can highly recommend it. We got a good one over there. A good massage. So and they feel it, and you will. When you massage me in between, you feel this, and it is getting easier, a bit easier. So it's got to be. He said it's got to be massaged away. This acidity there, which is there in shoulders.
Right, ready to train?
Yep.
So you're going to start with the boxing, and then whoever wants to take her through each exercise, so we're going to be doing, she'll tell you what she's going to do next, and if you'd like to take her through that exercise, please be. I've done it, I've trained her before, so for me to take her through would be silly. It'd be really good if everybody had an opportunity to do that.
Sure.
So who's keen to take her through an exercise? Yes, 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 yes. Just say yes. Good. Jump in there.
No, I'm
and she loves to have a big stretch at the end. So what we'll do, because it's already 11:15, where's the morning go?
Well, we talk too much.
How about we meet in the gym at 25 past, so a tinkle break and something to eat and a quick break, and we'll meet in the gym at 25 past, and we'll take Mutti through her training session. Sound good?
Yes.
Thank you, Mutti.
Thank you very much indeed.
And when you come to your graduation, Mutti always chats at graduation, so please bring your friends and family who've ever made an excuse that they're too old to exercise, because she absolutely nails them. I can't tell you how many parents have said to me, if your mother can do it, what's my excuse? And that's what we want to hear.
And I usually don't say much, I just stay there. This time I will be in a red dress, so everybody can pick me up quickly.
All right, let's have a break and we'll be back. 25 past in the gym would be great.